But I've had to move. I've moved from that first spot I was in. Thought it was a good spot. It's like a bend in the river, and there's a deep hole right there. It's about 4 or 5 foot deeper than it is in the other part of the river there. And there's some structure in there. I know that because I got hung up first time I threw in there. Broke off, so I know there was structure in there, but didn't get any bites. So I sat there for about 45 minutes, and I figured it's time to move. So I moved down the river a little bit, and I'm out in the middle, and there's a, look on the sonar, there's like a trough right down through here. It goes down, I don't know, 30 yards down there. It comes back up, and it's deeper. I know that I've caught a bunch of fish in this area. As a matter of fact, right here's where I was at when I caught that 40-pound blue earlier in the summer. So, I mean, I've got some structure. It drops off kind of, I'm right on the edge of that. It goes from like 14 feet to 19 feet. And I'm trying to fish that edge. So I got a shad head out, and I got some chicken on this one. I got a whole live shad on this one, and I've got chicken on this one over here. So we'll see. Like I said, I grew up on this river fishing here. Got serious about it 4 or 5 years ago. Got real serious about it about 2 years ago. I want to make some videos. And honestly, I come out here and I fish, and I got my camera set up. Got a hit right there. I don't know. I know there's a bunch of gar in this river, but hopefully they ain't eating now. Still messing with it a little bit. That's that shad head on that one. But I'd come out and I'd catch a fish, and I'd hit or miss, and mostly miss. I started getting discouraged. I really did. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I mean, I just, you know, I grew up, I'd come down to the river with a can of worms, or most of the time grasshoppers. And I'd throw them out. Hold on. Something bit it, and if it didn't, it didn't. That's what I knew about fishing. So I'd go home now, wondering what I'm doing wrong. Got on YouTube, typed in catfishing. Up popped these videos. I started checking out these videos. I see this guy named Catfish Dave. He's put out a bunch of videos. So I started watching. Well, when I started watching Catfish Dave, he's a bank fisher. He fished on the bank. But man, he could catch some fish. Catch some big fish. He's up, I think, in Tennessee. There's several different lakes or rivers and stuff up there in Tennessee that he'd fish in. They got big catfish up there. So I'd watch Catfish Dave. I was trying to pay attention. Things that he said. Here, lo and behold, I don't know, I think it's earlier this year, he started making videos in a boat. He got him a boat. Or I don't know if he had a boat, but he started making videos in the boat. I'd watch Catfish Dave. I'd watch videos and I'd watch videos, and I'd think about fishing. I'd dream about fishing. I started listening to what he was saying. I mean, I know that Catfish Dave and some other guys that I watch, and they're up there in Tennessee, Kentucky, up there, talk about the bait, skipjack. Love using skipjack. As far as I know, there ain't no skipjack in the Yadkin River. I never seen one. Never heard of one being down here. So that was out. Occasionally it would use shad. And he'd catch fish on shad. Well, that's what we've got here. Mostly thread fin shad. I'd get me some thread fin shad. And I was still hit or miss. Catfish Dave said if you're going to catfish, you need these 10-aught mustad hooks, circle hooks, the wide gap. I get on Amazon, I order me a box of them. So Catfish Dave said that's what I need, that's what I got. Catfish Dave told me that, well, he didn't tell me, he said on his video, all the fish he ever caught, he caught in the water, and we're in the water. Got that part down. Might be a channel cat. Just playing. The other day I was watching. It might have been in the dog days of summer. He wasn't catching anything. He started talking about his lucky shirt. I don't know. I don't know if there's such thing as a lucky shirt. I don't know if I have a lucky shirt. So, before I came, I went back and I started looking at my pictures of where I caught fish on FishBrain. I started looking at the shirts I had on when I caught them. I don't know if this is my lucky shirt, but I have caught fish in this shirt. So I wore it. He put out a video the other day. I don't know, I watched it the other day. It might have been out for a while. He's using chicken. You've been hearing about everybody talking about chicken. I've heard everybody talk about chicken. Using chicken. I saw him, he caught a 30-something, 240-something with chicken. I got me some chicken. Been fishing with chicken. Last 3 or 4 times I've had chicken. The shad still ain't caught nothing. He's talking about the moon phases. I don't know nothing about all that. I know it was a full moon last Saturday night. This might be a bad time. But it was a beautiful day, and I thought, hey, let's see if I can make a video and catch some fish. I did go fishing a couple months ago with my buddy. We went to tried a different lake. We went to Lake Tillery, first time I ever been there. Had a hard time finding bait. Finally caught some bluegill. So we going out, and we out in the middle of the lake. I'm looking at his sonar. I see why I think it's fish on the bottom. That's a little fish right here. So we dropped the anchor out and dropped our lines down. And about 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. Yeah, hooked the biggest fish he's ever caught. 64 pound flathead. What'd I catch? Not a dadgum thing. Nothing. But I did watch him catch that. And that was worth the trip. Nothing to speak of. I mean, I ain't even catching the dink fish. I don't know if I don't know what I don't know. I just fish for a while and I move. I try to fish structure. I look in the river. I look in the lake for holes. I watch Dieter Melhorn. I watch Hagen Grubbs, him and Landon. That one kind of hurts my feeling. Landon, 10 years old, he's catching 40, 50 pound blues and flatheads all the time. Here I am, quite a bit older than 10. Ain't catching diddly nothing. But they'll fish holes. They'll fish in current. I know that they like to drift, especially Dieter Melhorn. I've tried that a few times. Boy, that didn't turn out good. I had a big old mess with that. Water temperature is about 53 degrees now in the river. Probably about 10 degrees warmer than that in the lake. Everything I've been hearing, or everything they've been talking about, the fish are supposed to start biting. They're supposed to start feeding again. I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, I do watch Hagen Grubbs videos. He's out in, I think, Kentucky or Ohio, somewhere out in that way. And he's got a rod rack similar to this, and you can't see it, but he had a light strip on the back of his, and I got that on the back of this. If it gets dark, I'll turn that on, let you see how that is. I saw that in his videos, and when that thing's on and it's dark, it makes those eyes on the rods kind of glow. And you can see when you're getting a bite, and you can see which one's getting a bite in the dark without having a white light on that draws all the bugs 10 miles around. It's pretty neat. I don't know if I'll see it on this video. I'll check it whenever I start editing the video, but a little bit ago when Mama Skeeter called me, I was talking to her and I had it on speakerphone, and I was back up there a little bit and I was closer to the bank. I could hear something walking in the woods. It wasn't far from me. I mean, it wasn't far at all, and I could even see the tree shaking when it went by. I guess it had hit the trees, and I told her, I said, be quiet for a minute, because I could see on down the bank that the bank's shallow down, it wasn't a straight drop off. And sure enough, on down, he's probably 100 yards, 130 yards from me. Seen a buck swim across the river. Every once in a while, you could see the sunlight shine off his horns. Pretty good sized rack on him. He got over there, right over in there somewhere. That bank looks pretty steep also, and heard him splashing around. I think he had a kind of a hard time getting out of there, but he made it. He's over there, woods where I grew up at. I don't know. I don't know. I may have to Invite Catfish Dave to come down here to North Carolina and show me something. I don't know. It ain't much of a fishing video if there ain't no fish in it. Any of y'all that watch this, if y'all got any pointers, any tips, any advice, hey, I'm open. Because I dang sure don't know it all. Feel like I'm struggling right now. If you want to leave me a comment or something, give me some advice, I'd very much appreciate it. I think I'm gonna reel these up. I've been here a while now. I had that bite from a gar. I tell you though, I fished one day. Last big fish that I caught. Going down the river a couple miles. I fished. I'd come up the river when I started. Fished at this little spot. I caught a little dink. I think it was 6 pound blue. I sat there for a while and didn't catch anything else, didn't get any more bites. So I went down the river and I fished in this spot that I'd caught fish in before. Didn't catch anything, didn't get a bite. I thought, well, I'll move around one more time and I'm gonna head out of here. I got around down there in front of Buck Steam Station. Sitting there. Got to messing on my phone, wasn't paying attention. Had a rod over here on this end. You know, I threw it that way. I threw it out towards the bank. And it drifted down some. I happened to look up at it, and that rod was bent coming up the river. I said, holy Toledo. So I grabbed that rod and reeled it in. He's already hooked. 43 pound blue, which is the biggest blue I ever caught. Got him up here to the boat. My net, hopefully you'll get to see it if I catch a fish here shortly, is not huge. Here I am trying to hold that fish and net him at the same time. And I've never done that by myself, a big fish. And I wrestled with that joker, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, I guess. I finally got him in. I was by myself. Didn't have nobody to take no picture. So I called Mama Skeeter. She didn't answer. I called my buddy Jerome. And just so happened he had just went by close to where I was at on the highway. I told him, I said, you got to come down here. You got to meet me down the river. He said, what for? I said, I caught a 43 pound blue. I need you to come down here and take my picture. So he did. And we took a couple pictures and I put him back in the water. Made sure he was good and he swam off. And so I know there's catfish in here because I've caught them. And I've caught a bunch of catfish. It just hadn't been consistent. I thought I was getting a bite over here, but it don't look like I am. Maybe some trash or something's got on my line down and pulling it down. So I'm gonna move, probably move one more time. It'll be dark here in probably 45 minutes to an hour. And that's one thing I hadn't been doing, is fishing in the dark. So maybe that's it. Maybe they ain't coming out till it gets dark. This river, this is not a really deep river. I mean, about 24, 25 feet deep. It's the deepest places I've seen in it. And I've been all the way from the dam up past Boone's Cave, and it gets a whole lot shallower up there. So, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're waiting to come out at night to feed. So I'm gonna get out here and find some structure. Maybe find a hole, cast over in the hole, cast over in the shallow part, cast around the structure, and we'll see what we can find. There is something right over here to my right. I don't know if there's a bunch of trees. There's a bunch of stuff right in there. And it looked like when I went over, there might be some fish hanging on that. So I'm gonna try to get a bait over here. Probably gonna get all hung up, but I'm gonna get a bait over there anyway. And see what we can do. I know there's one thing about fishing. That rod over there got hit pretty good a little bit ago, and he's still messing with it. Every once in a while I see him tap on a little bit. I mean, I just think, you know, in my mind, there's like a 50-pound flathead down there. He's got my bait in his mouth, and he's just chewing it, he ain't moving much. Just waiting on him to take off with it. I hope that's what's happening. I hope it ain't no dead-gum guard in there messing with me again. There's still quite a bit of trash floating down this river. We had rain, I guess that hurricane, Zeta, whatever it was, came through last week. There's still a lot of trash floating around through here. You know, it's hard to make a fishing video when the star of the video won't show up. I don't know. I've tried everything I know. Tried to find something that'll work that I can stick to. I haven't found anything to work yet. I fished in the deep water. I fished in the shallow water. I fished in the still water. I fished in the current. I found brush, rocks, all kind of trash on the bottom. I fished that. I fished where that stuff is not. I fished in the daytime. I fished in the dark. I've used shad. I've used chicken. I've used brim. I've used crappie. I don't know. I'm wondering, since we had this pandemic, everybody and their grandma has been fishing. When I catch fish, I put them back. I release them. I don't know if everybody else is like that, but I know that everybody and their grandma has been fishing. You can't hardly buy a fishing tackle. I don't know if they're catching them and keeping them, and there ain't no fish out here. I don't know. According to Catfish Dave, there's water. Should be fishing. I'm not seeing them. Swimming back up the river. I thought we would pick that up for sure. This one over here, I had it and he come off, spit the hook. That rarely happens with these silver hooks.